Alright, it's Bobby again from 3P, and we're going to go through the third lesson today. So in this video, we're going to be talking about calories. So first thing is, what is a calorie? Well, a calorie is simply a unit of energy, but more specifically, it's the amount of energy needed to heat 1 liter of water by 1 degree Celsius. And while foods may have different calorie values, and these calories may react differently within the body, a calorie is still a calorie, it's just a unit. So where do we get them from? Well, we get 4 calories for every gram of protein that we consume. The same for carbs, 4 calories per gram. Then we get 9 calories per gram of fat, and alcohol gives us 7 calories per gram too. Well, let's talk about calories in versus calories out because this has a huge effect on our results. So in short, if we burn more calories than we consume, we will lose weight, and when you combine that with smart training, the large majority of that will be body fat too. Then on the flip side, if we consume more calories than we burn, we will gain weight, and again, combined with a smart training program, a good portion of that weight will be muscle mass. So this is why tracking our daily calorie intake and making sure we're eating the right amount for our goal is one of the 3 nutrition rules. So to try and understand your calorie needs, first we need to know what you're trying to achieve. So in other words, what is your goal? And there are 3 main options when it comes to your calorie intake, and the first one is maintenance calories. Maintenance calories is when the number of calories you consume matches the number of calories you expend, and this results in our weight staying roughly the same. Now, looking at this chart, the dotted line that you can see at the top is the amount of calories this person needs each day in order to maintain their weight. So that's 2,500 calories a day, or a total of 17,500 calories per week. So if this person eats 2,500 calories a day, then they will remain roughly the same weight as their calorie intake has matched their calorie expenditure for that week and that day too. So maintenance calories is when calories in matches calories out, and this results in us being weight stable. Next up is a calorie deficit. So expending more calories than you consume, and this is vital if your goal is fat loss. Now, if you're like most people, you've tried loads of different diets, and some will have worked and some didn't, but whether you realize it or not, every diet that works was because you were in a calorie deficit. That's how every single diet on the whole planet works for fat loss, and there are no exceptions. They all work by controlling your calorie intake. So here's some examples. First of all, you got the Atkins diet. This works by restricting the amount of carbs you can eat each day, which causes you to consume less calories. Intermittent fasting. This works by only allowing you to eat during a relatively short window of time, which often results in you eating less food over the course of the day, therefore consuming less calories. Then you've got the 5-2 diet. This allows you to eat normally for 5 days. Then you have to fast or eat less than 500 calories a day for 2 days. This obviously means that 2 days a week you're barely eating any food, which of course results in you consuming less calories over the course of the week and puts you in a calorie deficit. You've got the ketogenic diet, which is pretty much 0 carbs allowed, so you've eradicated one macronutrient from your daily diet, which leads you to consume less calories. Then paleo. In its purest form, paleo removes all calorie-dense processed foods from your life, meaning that you consume less calories. Then you've got Slimming World. They use a point system to control the amount of food you eat every day, which if you do it right, results in you consuming less calories. And the list could go on, but I think you get the idea. So all diets work for fat loss by controlling your calorie intake in some way or another. When it comes to fat loss calories math, there's plenty of science to prove it. In fact, in 2017 was a study that basically reviewed all of the available scientific literature and came to the unsurprising conclusion that for weight loss, the calories in versus calories out model is strongly supported by all available scientific evidence. So let's talk through this a little bit more. And again, the dotted line is the amount of calories this person needs each day to maintain their weight. So 2,500 calories a day or 17,500 calories over the course of the week. Now let's say this person only consumed 2,000 calories a day. That's about 500 less calories a day than the body needs to stay in shape. This means we've created a calorie deficit, and over the course of this week, they've consumed 3,500 less calories than they've expended. Now, as a rough guide, 3,500 calories equals around 1 pound of body fat, which means this person should now be on track to lose about 1 pound of body fat a week. There are a few different ways to create a calorie deficit. The first is to lower your calorie intake, like we've showed you in the chart. The second is to increase your activity levels, which is something we'll talk about in a later video. And the third, and probably most common way, is to use a combination of both. So keeping a slightly higher food intake, while at the same time increasing our energy output by being more active. Alright, so let's look at the calorie surplus. This is when calories in is greater than calories out, leading to weight gain. This usually happens in two instances. First, if we're overeating and over-consuming calories and gaining body fat. The second is if we're purposefully in a slight calorie surplus with the aim of providing our body with just enough calories to build some muscle mass. So let's take a look at this chart again. Just before, the dotted line, it's the amount of calories this person needs each day to maintain their weight. So about 2,500 calories a day. Now let's say this person consumed 3,000 calories a day. That's about 500 calories more each day than the body needs to stay the same. This means they've created a calorie surplus, and over the course of a week they've consumed 3,500 calories more than they might have expended. This will lead to weight gain, and with the right training, a good portion of this will be muscle mass. But for most people, over time, this is what leads to the big gains in body fat. But instead of being in a consistent calorie surplus like you can see on this chart, which often happens is because the weekend causes weight gain. So, as you can see on this chart, all the week, this person has eaten roughly the amount of calories they need to stay the same, and sometimes it might even be a little bit more. Then on Saturday and Sunday, they'll blow over their target by 1,000 calories each day by having takeaways and alcohol. Now they're in a calorie surplus for the week and gradually gaining body fat. So look, calories matter, especially when they're trying to make positive lifestyle changes in our body. Okay, and that's why we want you to track them every day and get as close as you can to the calorie targets your coach has set for you.